Hello and welcome back to the Battle Room. I'm of course the Battle Room, and today I'm joined by Raghav. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing wonderful, my friend. I saw an amazing movie tonight, and we have another one for you. Colin, let's set the scene for him.
So today we have the Toronto Regional Finals. We're going to be breaking down the set, but let's figure out how our players got here. So I'll start with Paul Chua. In top 8 played Aaron Brock in kind of a banger set. I actually watched this one. It was super hype. Paul and Aaron played in day 1, and I happened to catch that one as well. And Aaron made Paul look like a novice, dude. He destroyed him. It was a free win for Aaron, but Paul got his revenge in top 8. Moves on to the semifinals against Justin Tang, and that Paul Chua magic, that little luck he has, came through, was able to clutch it up with some nice little dodge, and he takes the set a nice 2-0, and now he's sitting in finals with that Raging Bull balance.
Yeah, and then Cary on the other side had a slightly different run where I feel like it was really a test of his team building because he was forced to play against some really wacky teams until he faces Paul in the finals using something very standard. But starting off with Kylan using a Dondozo team, some people call it 2-2-2 just because there's it's a combination of three very strong duos. And Cary very, cleverly and honestly convincingly broke it down using Urshifu and Amoonguss, showcasing like kind of the balance backbone of his team. And then he had a tougher matchup into Jack Clark, who had a very different style of weird stuff with Screens Grimmsnarls and Swords Dance Ogerpon paired next to Okidogi and Golden Go. So it was a little bit trickier in a 3-game set, but Carrie came out on top, showcasing the strength of Roaring Moon. This unique Roaring Moon set that him and Patrick Connors used. We'll go more into it. And in the finals, he's playing Paul Chua. And let's break down that finals matchup, taking a closer look at Cary's team.
So here we have Carrie's team. We've got Choice Specs Golden Go, Mystic Water Urshifu, Roaring Moon, Incineroar, Amoonguss, and Landorus.
Yeah, and his team here isn't like so unique that we've never seen this combination of Pokemon. We've seen a few people do well with this kind of core in the past, but there are some unique set differences. We've seen Scott Iwafuchi, good friend of ours, use a very similar team, but that had Dragon Dance Roaring Moon. This is very different. It's got a Tailwind Roaring Moon with Breaking Swipe and Knockoff and Booster Speed, so it's more of a support Pokemon to set up Landorus and Urshifu, which some of these teams don't run, to do a lot of damage in Tailwind. But also, the Golden Go is no longer a setup Pokemon, but is just trying to shit out damage with Specs boosted Make It Rain, or very, very interestingly, this Terra Fairy Dazzling Gleam set. This is something that I've seen pick up on the Showdown ladder a little bit, but it's really, really good in this format just because there's a lack of fairies, and this one is good into Flutter Mane. So that already makes it really, really good. But obviously, it just hits things like Urshifu really hard, and it's a spread move that doesn't reduce its damage the way Make It Rain does. So I think he's got a lot of really cool choices, including this Incineroar that is Rocky Helmet to make Urshifu not really want to hit it, but it's also Terra Flying. And I think this is because they want a better matchup into things like Ursaluna, but also opposing Landorus Eye, which is just it just seems to be one of the best Pokemon in the format by far.
Yeah, I think what another really cool thing that he's got going for him is this Terra Fire Urshifu Water. Terra
Yeah.
Fire is not something you really see right now, if at all. I would say Terra Steel is traditionally the defensive Terra of choice right now for Urshifu Rapid Strike. So we see a lot of that, but Terra Fire is really, really cool, and I think it's going to play a big part in this matchup just because it does completely wall Ogerpon Fire. Like, obviously, Ogerpon Fire can move around Amoonguss because it is a grass type, and normally Urshifu with the Terra Steel is threatened by Ivy Cudgel, but now there's no mind game. You just get to Terra Fire, you wall the Ogerpon, and you also wall Flutter Mane, which I think is another really big adaptation to the meta right now because there are a lot of Flutter Manes, and they all are dropping Shadow Ball. So, similarly to Terra Steel, the Terra Fire does block that. So I think it could play a big factor here, and I think it's a cool choice. Like, it's such a small thing, a Terra, but I think I saw it pop off in his set versus Kylan, and I think it was the sole reason he was able to take game 2. So I think it could be a big factor here as well. Just really creative team building on the Terra type.
Absolutely. I was gonna mention that top 8 set. It was really good into that Flutter Chi U. And I
Hmm.
did see it pick up some steam in the first stint of Regulation F. I remember playing Montana Mott. It's top 4 at Worlds, one of our best friends. And I played him at Vancouver Regionals using Terrifier Shifu, and that's when Will-O-Wisp was really common in the format. But I just feel like it's developed into a really, really nice meta call, especially next to Amoonguss, which is like, it's just a timeless Pokemon. We saw Wolf kind of dominate with Amoonguss in the first Regulation F series, but it's still just so good. And I think the way Cary has been piloting it in this tournament has been really, really good. The Sludge Bomb is just the absolute best set. You don't need Pollen Puff. You want to be doing damage into these grasses. And yeah, I just think he's come up with a really, really solid team, very synergistic choices. And I'm curious to see how he actually plays into Paul's really, really standard team, which we're going to break down next. Next up, we have Paul's team here, and it is a standard team. We saw Tim Edwards get second at EYC with this squad. It just has kind of emerged as the most standard and solid team of the format. And of course, it is that Leftovers Calm Mind Raging Bolt, Assault Vest Rillaboom, but this time with high horsepower. We've got a Swords Dance Ogerpon, Sasher Shifu Water, a Support Booster Speed Fluttermane, and a Citrus Berry Incineroar.
Yeah, I think one of the big, like, obviously this is the most boring, standard, good team in the format. Like, if you go to a tournament, this is the team that you must have sets into at this point, right? You need to practice versus it. It is essential. So I do expect Cary to have a plan, but at the same time, this team is so, so good that even if you have a plan, sometimes it doesn't matter because the other person could just play so much better than you. It just gives you endless tools. I would say the biggest thing to note here is that it is Focus Sash or Shifu, something that you just don't see as much in the modern Regulation F. Obviously at the time it was really good back 2 years ago, but right now Mystic Water is kind of the wave, so I will be curious to see how it interacts. I still think it's a good item. Obviously it's in the finals, but it's just something that don't see as much.
Yeah, I think it's good for Paul here. It can eat a Terra Fairy Dazzling Gleam, just lives any hit it needs to. I'm also curious to see whether it's Jolly or Adamant. I personally ran Focus Sash or Shifu at this regional with Jolly to hit things like Lando unexpectedly, so I'm curious to see if that comes up. Another big thing is Paul's running Protect Fluttermane with Thunder Wave. In the past, we've seen Moonblast Icy when Taunt, but I don't think we've seen Thunder Wave Protect. I think, based on some of the sets I've seen with Paul, he's been really trigger happy with that Thunder Wave. So we could see some nasty little Thunder Wave shenanigans in this game. And maybe the regionals decided on some paralysis chances. I'm very curious, but Protect is just such a good move, and it makes it able to stick around a little longer, spread that paralysis a little easier. So maybe that's going to come into play. But overall, there's not much more to say about this team. It did die down a little, so I think Paul really is just showcasing that, look, you can't count this team out. I will just simply outplay you.
I think another big thing to watch here is going to be how good Amoonguss is, right? Because normally I'm looking through the team. Usually there is potentially a Follow Me on that Ogerpon, or a Taunt on the Fluttermane, like you mentioned, or even Taunt on Incineroar, but we see none of that. There's no way to stop Amoonguss from pressing Spore outside of switching into your grass type. So I think Amoonguss is going to play a big role here. I think Amoonguss is very good, and obviously, like you mentioned, those Sludge Bombs can go nuts here. So I think it's going to be how well Paul can navigate Amoonguss.
Absolutely. There's no Terra Grass or safety goggles on that Incineroar either. So I agree with you that this is going to be a huge piece here for Cary. I think without further ado, let's just see how these two goats approach the matchup.
Alright, we're going to see a Fluttermane and Ogerpon Fire lead for Paul into Amoonguss and Urshifu from Cary. Right off the bat, the Amoonguss is here and ready to have some fun.
Yeah, and so I think Cary here is threatened by that Ogerpon, but a switch to Incineroar, or even a Terrifier could be huge. I think Amoonguss is in a phenomenal position here, whether it attacks or not. Because again, that Fluttermane does not have Taunt. I do really like this Terrifier play and Surging Strikes. At the worst, you get Thunder Waved, right?
Yeah.
At the best, you might pick up a KO here, or just get very, very good chip on that Ogerpon. So we see Cary lock into Protect here, and the Terra is coming out. Is this on Cary's end or Paul's?
This one is on the Urshifu, so I think this is super chill because there is no Terra committed from Paul, so the Fluttermane could potentially go down if it's not bulky enough, but we obviously saw him target down the Ogerpon. So now it is a matter of whether this Ogerpon is bulky enough to survive a Mystic Water Surging Strikes. We see the Moonblast to keep Cary honest. I think that's fair. And then we're going to see an Ivy Cudgel whiff into that protect. A really solid play from Cary here on turn 1.
Yeah, Paul's just going for kind of the most straightforward, like, I see super effective, I'm
Mhm.
going to press it. And that Surging Strike's doing a lot more than I expected. Holy shit, I think the
Ooh,
Urshifu died?
he actually one-shot. I didn't think it was going to KO. I really
I didn't
didn't,
know that
but
was possible. I
he's
guess Paul
juiced.
is running a very frail Ogre Pawn then, kind of heavily invested in offense and nothing else. Because I believe most Ogre Pawns these days are EV to live at Terra Water Surging Strikes.
Yeah, and now, I mean, like, this is probably, like, first of all, Amoonguss is not threatened. And also, this is the freest Incineroar switch of your entire life onto a Moonblast Flutter and an Incineroar, or a Rillaboom, right? Like, this is so safe to bring him in here. You can instantly put on pressure. I mean, Incin might just carry the game depending on what Paul's last is, too.
Yeah, no, we talked about it in team preview that Paul really needs to address this Amoonguss. And he just lost his Ogerpon turn 1. So he's got to go for Thunder Wave. This is cinema. I said this was going to be a movie. Every turn is now just a gamble. We see the high horsepower for the prediction, but not really because their Shifu was a fire type. And the Rocky Helmet chip, no, honestly pretty valuable, especially with the Sludge Bomb.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, that's amazing here. Obviously, I think Sludge Bomb is safe too because you don't really want to whiff a Spore. At this point in the game, you're so ahead, you don't really need to Spore Flutter Mane. Like, if it does Terra Grass, Flutter Mane's actually going to protect here. It doesn't want to take that extra damage. I mean, this seems so chill if he throws even one attack into that Rillaboom.
God, that Incineroar is so bulky.
Yup.
Eating that high horsepower probably would have taken the Moonblast too. Maybe would have just barely died, but that Flare Blitz goes off. Rillaboom is down. It is now a 4v2. This may be Paul's millionth regional finals and Cary's first, but he's making it look like it's the opposite.
Amoonguss gets paralyzed, does not matter. Now, I mean, like, at this point, I don't think there's a single Pokemon on Paul's team that can save this game, right? He's going to send in Mr. Raging Bolt.
Raging
Okay.
Bolt.
I just don't think he's
Yeah,
got time.
yeah. At this point, I think Paul is just trying to strategize for the next match, or just get really, really lucky with Thunder Wave and maybe get a couple Calm Minds up on this Raging Bolt. But at this point, I think if Cary just hits through at least once, he should just win the game. And we see the Terra Grass come out. That is really weird to me. I guess he really wants to stop this potential Spore, but I think you just have to bank on getting lucky, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe you take the KO and then you say, hey, he's not going to move. And then you try to win from there. I think you just need, like, I mean, if you do get, like, a string of, like, maybe 2 to 3 paras, maybe the game can swing in your favor, right? But the minute he moves,
No,
it's probably
absolutely.
cooked. And it is going to move right here. It gets the Spore off. One para so far, but on a turn that it didn't matter. So this is chill. He's sleeping. Now you're able to just freely bring in Urshifu again, sure. And you probably just CC the Flutter Mane, right? Like, you just take your free KO.
Yeah, I think you're prioritizing getting rid of this Flutter Mane so Lando can come in very safely and just kill this Raging Bolt. Paul's going for these Thunder Wave odds. I honestly think it's not unwinnable. If you are
It
able
really
to...
isn't.
Oh, God, okay. That really scared the shit out of me. I thought Urshifu was already paralyzed. So is CC comes out, and is it going to live?
Oh, the critical
Critical hit.
hit. That's big. Again, I mean, well, now at this point, I think Landers should be able to clean up. Um,
I don't think it matters anymore, yeah.
yeah. The crit was big, but also at the same time, it's like, if Amoonguss got the Sludge Bomb off, which it did move here, it was always KOing anyways. So now you just get to freely hit him, and then you do get the information. It's kind of crazy, like, how broken Thunderwave can be, because, like, looking at the game, it looked cooked. Like, he got like 2 to 3 turns, like, just godly perfect, right? Like, Cary just destroyed him every turn. But then there was that sequence of if he got like a one para on that Amoonguss on that turn, he might have had a more real shot of winning this.
Yeah, Thunderwave is so powerful. It's kind of stupid that Paul is like, dude, I can't drop Thunderwave. I'm dropping Taunt. No matter what, I need to keep this thing. It's not like he has extra flinch chances. We see Icicle Crash or Iron Head run with it, Rock Slide. He's like, it doesn't matter. The para chance alone is worth it. But yeah, I think this game's over. And honestly, shout out to Cary for clicking Spore there. I think it is really smart to just keep that pressure on immediately in case it wakes up. We do see it Dragon Pulse. How much is this going to do to Amoonguss? Solid amount, but with that Citrus Berry, it will live another one too. I think Carrie's EV'd his Pokemon pretty perfectly too.
Yeah, I mean, he's chilling. Urshifu's paralyzed. Izamunga's paralyzed. I don't think it matters. He is paralyzed. Okay, that's the double para he needs.
Still think it doesn't matter. That Lando's just too good. He needs
No,
to get another Calm Mind and have both Pokemon paralyzed,
I
and
think
then
you're
have it
right.
paralyzed.
I think he does need to do something crazy. He's actually gonna go for the Dragon Pulse KO onto Urshifu. Um,
I mean, Paul doesn't know it's Landorus. You should probably assume, but at this point, I think he's just like he's hoping it's not, and that maybe there's a shot here. But the Spore comes out, and that is curtains. I think no matter what, Carrie just gets to bring in this Lando Earth Power, Sludge Bomb if it doesn't die, and
mhm.
wow, Carrie just a masterclass from Carrie. I'm honestly so impressed with this guy. We saw his earlier finishes too. He's been so consistent last year. This has just been like I guess he's been due for a finish like this.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at his finishes the other day, and like he's just been kind of on a steady rise. He had like a couple, like his first season was like solid, like he was getting close to day two, if not day twoing. But then it all changed when he got top 8 at Louisville, and then after that he got top 4. He day 2'd EUIC, getting top 32 there as well. Like he is a really solid player, and someone I think people might not notice as much because like he isn't winning the tournaments, but he's consistently doing well at them and playing against the best players in the world, right? Like he is just
Yeah, because
performing so well.
he hasn't just done it in America, but at UIC
Hmm.
too with a top 32 finish, which I believe is like the largest tournament of all time. So, yeah, he's been phenomenal. I do wonder outside of Pokemon, what can Paul do to get back into this game drip wise too? Is he winning the drip war at least?
I think Paul is unfortunately incredibly cooked in the drip war. His emoting is pretty fire. I just noticed that I didn't see it during the set, but he was raising those eyebrows when he got those paras. But yeah, the drip war is cooked from him. Unfortunately, they hit him with the neon green play Pokemon shirt. There's no recovering from that. I don't think. I think the drip war is cleanly carries.
Unless I'm wearing the neon green Pokemon shirt, which we don't have to discuss. But I do agree with you because we're into game two. We will give the drip war to Carry definitively. It is an auto win.
Mm,
Fortunately, wearing the play Pokemon shirt just kind of disqualifies you.
it does.
But we
There's
see
nothing you can
Lando
do.
among us, a little bit of a switch up, and we see Instant Raging Bolt. Paul thinking maybe I need to set this guy up from the start.
And I think that's a good plan. I think, like with the double fake out, you can put a lot of pressure because the only way for Paul to slow down Amoonguss is to flinch it at this point. So I do like the idea of potentially just leading the fake out guy with it, trying to set it up like you mentioned, and then just getting Raging Bolt going. Because maybe, just maybe, then you have a shot. But we're gonna see the classic fake out brother swap here, and I think we saw.
And I think he had to. It was a pretty abysmal situation. Do you want to get Earth Powered or Spored? Or Sandseared even, but yeah, you just protect switch to Rillaboom, and Carrie has no real reason to like hard punish that. But I still don't think this is a phenomenal position for Paul, because like, what happens this next turn? Are you gonna eat the Earth Power, or are you gonna eat the Spore?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good pin, too. And even still, Carrie could call it. He could try to, meet in the middle, just go for a Sludge Bomb to punish the Terra as well. And we see him lock that in instantly. Yep, you
Oh my
have to
God,
Terra it, right? Like, you don't really have a choice. Otherwise, you do just faint. This is going to do so much damage.
this was a perfect call from Carrie, man. And you pointed out he did it so fucking fast too. This is not looking like Carrie's uncomfortable in the slightest in this regional finals. Fake out goes into a Mungus, Sludge Bomb goes off. Paul is he's scratching his
Holy.
head, dude. That did like 85%.
The call was really clean there. I think it definitely like really holds Paul back too. Because one of the best parts about Amoonguss too is he just can redirect those moves. So if Carrie wants as well here, he could rip the Terra Steel to take this Wood Hammer better. Also, Amoonguss is great in a Raging Bolt as well because it can just hit it with Sludge Bombs, right? This is another Pokemon that can start Sludge Bombing. So Amoonguss is just looking like the MVP here. He's gonna slam that Terra instantly. He's gonna Spore Rillaboom. I think that's
I
fair.
don't love this. I feel like I want to swap the Incin on the Among Us to reduce the damage in case he goes for high horsepower and to keep the fake out pressure on.
Hmm.
But this could work out. If Paul just goes for Woodhammer, this is really bad. Obviously, there's no swap, so this Spore is going to whiff. But Will he be able to get the Sludge Bomb off? No. Raging Bolt protecting. Now comes down to whether Paul has gone for Woodhammer or High Horsepower. I think High Horsepower could be huge.
The thing is, though, is I actually do kind of like the Spore, because if you were to go to Incineroar, I think Raging Bolt is going to start healing way too much HP with this Grassy Terrain with these lefties, that I think Spore does slow it down and makes, I think, like the next turn like just an auto win. Whereas in this case, he's like, I'm fine committing Terra, I'm fine potentially slamming Rage Powder next turn if I have to, right? Like, I think it covers for like the stupid mid-game of Raging Bolt where he starts to heal back all of the damage you did to him with the terrain. Like, he doesn't even care about eating a sleep if he gets another Calm Mind, so I get it.
Though, you see, he's swapping to Incineroar here. The Raging Bolt's going to heal back anyway, because this turn he could Rage Powder Sludge Bomb, but then he trades Landorus for Raging Bolt, which is, I think Paul is totally okay with that. Not that it's a great position, but it's a much better trade than it had to be, right? So this turn we're going to see the swap to Incineroar. Grassy Glide, no.
Is it the clap? Did he risk the whole game on that turn too?
I think you have to, though. And Thunderclap fails. God. Perfect turn from Cary again. He spored the Rillaboom. Oh no, the Thunderclap failed. My bad.
He got him. That was incredible. Now, I mean, at this point, you can go for parting. You can throw a Sludge Bomb into either slot. I think you just parting the Rilla and just Sludge Bomb the Raging Bull. Just slow him down a little bit, because dude, look at him go. He's literally starting to heal. He was like at 25% after that Sludge Bomb, and now he's like cleanly at 60.
Yeah, I think you're parting the Raging, honestly, and you're just gonna Spore, not even... That does no damage, dude. How is that even possible? They did less than the first game, I feel.
Dude, this guy's impish. He is so bulky on this Incineroar. I think it's such a... I think he lives Surging Strikes. Like from...
I think that's the goal.
Yeah, I think he's like really, really bulky. He still gets the parting off. He's just trying to punish him. I don't hate this turn, but now like you do risk the first turn Wake, right? And Paul Chua,
it is back to neutral. But I would have liked to see the Sludge Bomb there. I understand wanting to keep his foot on the gas, and I think Paul did a good job of not giving him that switch.
Because now I think, I'm not sure what you're supposed to do if you're Cary, right? I think it's probably just double Sludge Bomb the Bolt. If you get it, you win the game. It's a little bit risky if he gets a first turn Wake. Maybe you meet in the middle. Okay, he's double Sludge Bombing. I think you could have spored the Bolt too. But here we go. He gets... Oh my gosh, that does so much damage. And here comes the High Horsepower. He goes down to... That did negative damage, dude. And he gets the first turn?
It does wake up. So it's going to be a trade anyway.
And he lives on 2.
Dude, look at Cary pop off. Holy shit, that was kind of fire.
He's trained different, dude. He's trained different. This team is just so bulky.
It's because that Raging Bolt was back to neutral. It is resisted. I'm less shocked now, but 2 HP is just crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, Landorus being alive is still pretty valuable. The Grassy Terrain's gone. Obviously, it can get killed by Cudgel here, but this is also, once again, the freest Incineroar switch of your entire life. There's no Terra, so Amoonguss can't faint on this turn. Amoonguss is just hard carrying this game, but not even with like cringe spores. It's about to just start sludge bombing everything. It already killed Raging Bolt. I think he sees blood, dude.
There is the risk for an Ivy Cudgel crit here. This could crush Cary's dreams.
True. That is probably the win con, right?
It's Paul's last hope. Like, there is the safe play of switch to Incin and protect Amoonguss, but that could be really risky in case Paul doesn't Ivy Cudgel and Swords Dances, which is what he was trying to read, but Cary perfectly counters that with the Sludge Bomb. Oh my god, this could be over. This could be Cary's first regional championship.
So much damage, and it gets the poison. It's cooked. It's cooked. He has no way to kill Incineroar now. Like, Incineroar just gets to chill. This guy is on a timer. Amoonguss is unkillable. This is so chill.
Yeah, I think this is sealed. And I don't mind that play at all, honestly. Oh, we see the double swap. I don't mind that at all. I think Lando is useless at this point. And just repositioning and even just letting Ogerpon die to poison is perfect. Because Incineroar cannot stop Cary's own Incineroar.
Yeah, as long as Amoonguss is healthy, I think this is a really good play from Cary because he's saying, listen, there's no way you're Grassy Gliding my Incineroar. There's no fucking way. Like, I'm bringing him in. Yeah, I know you're cudgeling. We do not care. Landers is worthless. And I think at this point, Amoongus just wins the game, dude. Amoongus just clutches up. I think this is a free.
Swap to Incin, fake out
Ensign?
Surging Strikes. If
Yep.
you fake out Ogerpon and Surging Strikes Incin, you are guaranteed a KO.
Yeah, you can't lose. That is such a safe
'Cause-
play. And then Amoongus just wins the game, too. Amoongus Instant is just, like, unkillable. You can't kill her Shifu. This game is just over. It's impossible.
I guess, well, if Paul swaps to Rillaboom and Spiky Shields, there's like a chance, but it seems like a terrible play. And I think Poison might just take it out anyway. We see Incineroar swap out to Rillaboom. Now, if Paul doesn't Spiky Shield here, it should just die to Fake Out as well.
And I think Paul can't really afford to because you also could just get sniped by a jet or something, right? I think Paul's just hoping for potential throw. Ogerpon goes down, and
I mean,
now
Grassy Glide would kill Carries or Shifu, right? If
True.
that next turn. So we see Surging Strikes come out. I mean, this is not insignificant damage either. But at this point, I think Paul's just cooked, dude. Carrie, we saw him rocking in the chair, but he just rocked Paul, dude. This was not even close for a second.
Dude, he honestly, like, the entire tournament, Carrie's been playing just better than everyone. I think this is one of those situations where if you ran this tournament over multiple times, he's winning a lot of those times. Like, I think this was his tournament to win, and nothing was gonna stop him from doing that. It didn't matter who you put in front of him. It didn't matter what teams he faced, the bullshit he went through with the Ogie Dogie, with the Dozo. It doesn't matter. He's a regional champion now, popping off, defeating Paul, one of the best players in North America of all time.
Of all time. And Cary D'Artona is your Toronto regional champion. This reminds me a lot of Justin Tang's like third regional win, I believe, where him and Shiliang played in the finals with the same team. I think the teams are similar, but it just felt like if you ran that tournament again, like you said, they're always winning. That team was broken, they were playing incredible. And Cary has showcased the same thing here. Pretty dominant, I think 11-1 in Swiss, undefeated in cut, of course, and just in control the whole time, mastery of his team, and honestly the format. I feel like he had an amazing call and beautifully executed his strategies.
Yeah, and I mean the team did really, really well as well. It got all three of the players who brought it made day two. They were like 23-6 after day one. I don't know what the updated record was after day two, but either way, it was the best team in the tournament, right? Like there was a lot of good players piloting it. Pat Con and I believe one other person as well, and Cary just clutched up. He played so well throughout the tournament and in finals here. He was in control the entire set.
No, that was amazing, and I love the passion from him too. These guys work so hard. Me and Colin are trying to win every event we go to, and we know how hard it is. But seriously, the people who win, one thing they all have in common is they are more invested than anyone else. They want it more than anyone else, and he proved it. He proved it absolutely.
Yeah, and I think this has been a long time coming. This was his tournament, and he deserves this dub, dude. He worked
Wow,
hard
this is
for
so
it.
sweet, dude. Look
Yeah.
at him celebrate.
Super well deserved. I'm excited to see what this guy can do. He does give me, like, you mentioned Justin Tang, and I think Justin Tang's incredible. Again, he has 5 top cuts in a row right now. And Carrie's another individual who I think for the future of this game is going to be a huge threat to win more regionals because this guy is just incredible. Like, after the top 4, you're like, okay, he can cook, he can play. And then after this, you're like, okay, this dude's nuts. Like, maybe he should have won more at this point. He's just so clean at this game.
Absolutely. So keep your eye out for Cary D'Artona. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time.
Peace.